Welcome back to more Sip2Tally. I'm your host, Coach Evans, and today on the more Sip2Tally Power Rankings, we're going to take a look at our number 19 team, the Las Vegas Raiders. That's right, the Raiders, as Chris Berman used to say. They're the number 19 team on our Power Rankings today, and let's get started. Let's dive right into the quarterback room, and in said quarterback room, we're going to start off with Aiden O'Connell. Now, he didn't start off as their starter, but he ended up being the starter for most of the year. And looking at his stats, he had 2,218 yards passing, 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and he ended up with a 40.5 QBR last year. He's probably going into the season as the number one because he finished the year with the team. Not sure if he's the best quarterback on the team because of his backup. Now, the guy that's his backup is a fellow Mississippian that, did a pretty good job as a backup last year, and that's Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew was Anthony Richardson's backup last year, and he came in and did a wonderful job. AR got hurt, I think, game 4 or 5. Gardner Minshew came in, threw for 3,305 yards, 15 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and had a QBR of 59.6. Now, Gardner Minshew led them on the brink of a playoff berth. So, Gardner, even though he's listed as the second quarterback, he may be the starter. There's going to be a great competition between Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew to see who starts for the Las Vegas Raiders. And it's taking everything in my power. I don't know if y'all heard it or not, for me not to say Oakland Raiders, but the Las Vegas Raiders. And the third quarterback is Anthony Brown Jr. He was a backup with Baltimore last year. Don't have any stats to give you for that. But he's different from the other two guys. Athletic guy, played at Oregon a while ago. So he doesn't fit the same mold as those two guys up there, but probably can be a serviceable third guy if you need an emergency quarterback. Let's go to their, I don't know if I said it, but I have their quarterback room ranked 26. 26. So let's go to their running back room. They lost one of the premier runners in the NFL, Josh Jacobs. So taking that role, and I think the reason why they were cool with losing Josh Jacobs was Zamir White. Zamir White came in a couple years ago, would have had a decent rookie campaign, but I think them drafting Zamir White pissed Josh Jacobs off, and he led the league in rushing that year. So last year, that wasn't last year, but it's year before last. But last year, Zamir White had 451 rushing yards, only had one TD, 4.3 yards per carry, and he's looking to be the lead dog in that room this year. But they also picked up Madison from the Vikings. And last year, Alexander Madison had 700 yards rushing and no TDs and 3.9 yards per carry with the Vikings. So between Madison and Zamir White, I think they have a legit, 1-2 punch. But they also got the specialist in that room, and that's Amir Abdullah. Amir Abdullah is an older guy that always finds a way to stick and stay on the team in some kind of role. Didn't have much production last year with the Raiders, only had 89 yards, but he just finds a way to stay on the team, and he'll make a play here and there. And he may have a fit with this new kickoff thing. He may be the guy for them to do that. So you got Zamir White, Alexander Madison, Amir Abdullah as the top 3 runners in this room. But I have their running back room ranked last. Because you got, Zamir White, who hadn't really showed he could be the lead dog. Alexander Madison, who was the guy in Minnesota, but to the tune of 700 yards being the guy. So you got between them, you got 1,100 yards. I don't know if either one of them could be the guy. But we'll see, though. We'll see, because they do have an opportunity, like especially Zamir White, he have an opportunity to prove that he can do something real special. And I'll tell you why here shortly. Let's move on to their wide receiver room. Wide receiver room I have ranked 10th. 10th. Now, we all know who their top dog is, Davante Adams. Davante Adams is one of the best wide receivers still in the NFL. Last year, he had 103 catches, 1,144 yards, 8 TDs, 11.1 yards per catch. One of the smoothest route runners in the NFL still. Probably one of the greatest set of hands that I've ever seen. The ability to set up people, to be able to turn DBs around, to be able to high point balls, whatever you need a wide receiver to do, he can do it. Now, he's probably not as fast as he used to be, but everything else, he still got it. And you can give Davante as many targets as you need, and he'll probably go get 75 to 80% of them. Also in that room, Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers last year had 71 catches, 807 yards, 8 TDs, 11.4 yards per catch. Great compliment to Davante. The slot guy would be Trey Tucker, 19 catches, 331 yards. But these guys is kind of the backups, are the reason why I kind of like this room so far. You look at Michael Gallup. We know what Michael Gallup did for the Cowboys. He's the number 4 guy. Last year he had 34 catches for 418 yards. And that's with Dak throwing to CD in a godly amount of time and throwing to, I'm trying to think of number 3 for the Cowboys. Whatever number 3 is for the Cowboys, I can't think of his name right now. But he threw to those 2 guys and the tight end a lot. Michael Gallup was an afterthought and still had those yards. Then you got Jalen Guyton, who came over from the Chargers. Speedy guy, had the opportunity to get over top, but with all the receivers they had last year, Guyton was kind of an afterthought, so he's moved on from there. Now, he probably wish he had stayed there now because they don't have receivers, but he's with the Raiders now. And then with that group right there, I think with Devontae and Jacoby leading that group, I think that's a pretty good group of receivers, and whoever wins that quarterback job will have a nice set of guys to throw the ball to. So move on to that tight end room. That tight end room is young, and I think has the opportunity to be very, very, very special. The opportunity. Now, I have it ranked 29th now. Because they're led by rookie Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers is the rookie from Georgia. The second tight end in that room he was a rookie last year, is Michael Mayer, or Mayer, however you say it, from Notre Dame last year. He last year had 27 catches, 304 yards, and 2 TDs. So you got a rookie Brock Bowers, a second-year tight end Michael Mayer, and your third guy, who's probably not going to factor in that much, is Harrison Bryant, who had 13 catches and 81 yards, 3 TDs. But if you look back on it, Harrison Bryant was a solid tight end in his days. Most of his production came with the Browns. So you got 3 guys in that room that's going to really help whichever quarterback wins that job, whether it be Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew. The tight end room is looking really good for the Raiders. Really, really good. Even though I got it ranked 29th now, because Harrison Bryant is on the downside of his career, and you got 2 young guys, like you don't really have a middle of the road guy in that tight end room. You got 2 babies and a grandpa. So you just got to find a mixture to get it in there. But when those guys get to rolling, they're gonna be rolling, especially if they use Brock Bowers and Mayer together. You think of a set, they put Brock Bowers, Mayer out there with Jacoby Myers and Devontae Adams, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to defend. Really tough. Let's move on to their O-line. They got Colton Miller at left tackle, Dylan Parham at left guard, Andre James at center, JPJ, one of my favorite draft picks, at right guard, and Thayer Munford Jr. at right tackle. Now, their O-line, which I think is one of the reasons why both of their running backs have an opportunity to have good years, is special. I do those 4 guys with the addition of JPJ, and y'all don't know how nasty JPJ is. And putting him at guard is really going to elevate that O-line. And I wholeheartedly believe this. I got the Raiders O-line ranked 3rd, man. I got their O-line ranked 3rd in the NFL. If all those guys stay healthy, I got their O-line ranked 3rd. And they got a few quality backups with Pete and a few other guys back there. Like, I really like the Raiders O-line. All of them were ranked 60 or above in PFF grades. And then, you add JPJ to that. I think most of them were ranked 70 or above. I think it was one dude that was under 70. And their O-line they gonna get after it. They really gonna get after it. And it's just up to the quarterbacks to execute. Really, the weak link on their team is quarterback play. Because they got receivers, they got okay running backs. The O-line is good. The tight end room is good. They need good quarterback play. But let's get over to the defensive side before we stick and stay. Go to the dark side. 4-3 team. Let's start with the edge guys. We know this dude's going to go crazy again. Max Crosby. He had 14.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 55 solo tackles. Now, Mad Max is a relentless player. He's one of those high motor guys, but he's not a high motor guy that just go to go. Max rarely comes out of the game. When you talk about edge guys, they normally have like a rotation where they'll play like first and second down, then a second group will come in and play third and fourth, or vice versa. Max don't come out at all. And he's not just a high motor guy that don't have moves or don't have skills. Max can give you, he got skills, he play hard every play, and he aggravating as heck. If you haven't watched quarterback last year with Pat Mahomes and was it not Case Keenum, my Falcons quarterback, I forget his name, and the Netflix thing. Mad Max is aggravating, but I love Max, the way he plays the game and how hard he plays it. On the other side of Max, you got Malcolm Kuntz. He had 32 solo tackles, 8 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. Now, whenever Max gets a dude on the other side of him, he's going to go stupid. And I'm not discrediting Kuntz, but Max need a guy on the side of him. Now, this dude may help him out. He hadn't had one of these type of cats on the line with him. That's Christian Wilkins. I'm sorry. He came from Miami. He was an interior defensive lineman from Miami last year. Probably their best defensive player, if it not for Jalen that got hurt. But he had 9 sacks from the interior. 38 solo tackles, 1 forced fumble. He's a dude. He is a dude on the inside, and you put him with John Jenkins, who's also on the interior. You got Mad Max. Their front line is different now. You got to worry about Christian pushing the middle. You also got to worry about Max on the edge. That's formidable. That's formidable. They can get any kind of pressure on that other side. Like, Kuntz is going to get a lot of one-on-ones. John Jenkins is going to get a lot of one-on-ones. You win your one-on-ones, you tough. So I got that D-line edge group ranked 8th in the NFL. Because they don't get a lot of one-on-one opportunities. Because you got 2 guys that you potentially got a double team. Let's go to the linebackers. We'll start with Divine Diablo. Divine Diablo had 65 solo tackles and 1 sack last year. He's a speed guy. He just got to harness that speed, be in the right place, be at the right time. But having Christian Wilkins on that D-line is going to help all these linebackers out. Second linebacker is Robert Spillane. Spillane last year had 82 solos, 3.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 3 interceptions. Again, having Christian in the middle is going to help all these guys out. Spillane is one of those guys that he's going to be where he's supposed to be. He's not going to miss tackles. The only problem with Spillane is if he getting space, you can out-athlete him, maybe. But he's not going to miss tackles. He's going to be where he's supposed to be. He's going to play hard, and he's going to get his job done. He's going to be the ultimate professional. Last guy in that room is Luke Masterson. Luke last year only had 17 solo tackles, 2 forced fumbles. So he'll be the new guy in this group that comes out and has to prove himself. The linebacker group I have for them have ranked 17. That's mainly on the strength of Robert Spillane and Divine Diablo. But I think they're going to be able to be a lot more productive because of what Christian Wilkinson and Mad Max can do up front. The linebacker crew right here is going to be a lot more productive because the opposing offense has got to pay so much more attention to Christian Wilkinson and Mad Max. Let's go to the secondary. Starting at cornerback, Jack Jones. Jack Jones came in, and I know y'all remember that one-hand catch. I know you do. I'm probably going to put it on the screen right here. But that was amazing. And you know what you get out of Jack Jones last year? 28 solo tackles, 2 interceptions, 5 PDs, PBUs, however you want to say it. On the other side of him, Nate Hobbs. 59 solo tackles, 1 forced fumble, interception, 7 PBUs. So at cornerback, they're solid. I ain't gonna say they're the greatest, but they're solid. I really like, what they do, how aggressive they've gotten under the new coach. They got some man corners so they can play you some man and do some different things up there. And they know with Mad Max up there, they don't have to defend long. Add Christian Wilkinson to that mix, it's gonna get even quicker. So they've gotten guys on the back end that can kind of fit their system. The third corner is probably going to be Jacorian Bennett. 24 tackles last year, 3 PBUs, and this kid can fly from Maryland. So you got 3 guys back there that can run, can cover, and can really, put a latching on people in the time frame that Mad Max is going to give them to cover. And for that, I have that cornerback room ranked 11th. Pretty good cornerback room, especially for the defensive mindset that Pierce is going to bring to the Raiders for a whole year now, and not just in the interim role. Going back to their safety room, Trayvon Moehrig is one of their safeties. Last year, Moehrig had 65 solo tackles, 3 interceptions, 8 PBUs. More of your rangy. He's a strong safety, but he got the range to be able to play a free safety. He did both, if I'm not mistaken, at TCU. So you got a guy that can be a half-field safety. He can be a post safety. He can come down in the box and do some things. You got one of those jack of all trades in Moehrig. I really like what he brings to the table. The other safety, Marcus Epps. He had 41 solos, 1 forced fumble, and 3 PBUs last year. And with Epps, that's your real post guy. So he's very, that's not the right word I want to use. He's more so your guy that's gonna be your one high guy that can range from side to side. Not the greatest tackler, but will get people down. Can get some PBUs and can be your free range, your Ken Griffey center field type guy. And so let's take a look at all of the Well, I didn't say your safeties. For your safeties, I got them at 21. I like Mo Reed. I don't like Epps as much, but I got your safety room at 21. Now let's take a look at all of them and put them together and see what we got. Quarterback 26, running back 32, wide receiver 10, tight end 29, O-line 3, D-line edge 8, linebacker 17, cornerback 11, and safety 21. Add all those together, divide them, you get 17.44444, and that makes them the number 19 team on the more Sip2Tally power rankings. Now let's take a look at the draft choices from the 2024 draft and see how they fit into this Raiders team. All right, Brock Bowers. We know Brock Bowers is probably going to be the number 1 tight end, if not the number 2, but he's definitely going to get a lot of snaps, whether he's the number 1 or the number 2 tight end. They picked him in the first round. JPJ picked him in the second round out of Oregon. Probably going to start at guard. Could be the backup center if something happens. Going to be in that mix. The third round pick, DeMar Glaze, offensive line out of Maryland, may be in the rotation if somebody goes down, but I don't see him starting at all. Decameron Richardson, they picked him out of Mississippi State. Could be in that mix for the nickel corner. Not sure because they are solid at the cornerback role right now, but you know you can never have enough good corners in the NFL. Tommy Eichenberger, linebacker from Ohio State. Maybe could be at that second linebacker spot, maybe, but definitely a special teams guy. Dylan Lube, running back from New Hampshire. Trey Taylor, free safety from Air Force. And then they rounded out with MJ Devonshire, the DB from Pittsburgh. So those are the Raiders draft picks. I have them as the number 19 team on the more Sip2Tally power rankings. If you think they're too high or too low, let me know in the comment section. If you like what you saw, hit the like button. If you have not subscribed, please consider doing so. And share this video out so more people can see what we're working on over here. I appreciate you guys for coming out. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me. And I'll see y'all Tuesday. Peace and love.